if Eric July proved anything over the summer of 2022, he proved that the target demographic and the people who are spending the majority of the money towards this industry right now are the people that feel as though comic books are going in a direction that doesn't include them.
Yeah, it's a culture war. It's basically things aren't traditional for 80 plus years. Entertainment's been catered towards white straight males, and now that we're having a different dynamic, right? We're just having a different dynamic of entertainment where you're not the focus of the story, you're not the focus of the film, you're not the focus of the movie, you're not the focus of a book, graphic novel, comic, whatever, right? You're not the focus of it, and now all of a sudden it's not good. Why do we need this?
And it ain't even that long. You're still the focus. It's just we took 30% less of you and shifted somewhere else, and then you all of a sudden go crazy about it. But anyway,
because She-Hulk is not written like it's the 1980s. That's the problem. It's not the problem. She-Hulk's not the problem. The problem is she's not written like she's in the 1980s, where she's jump roping like butt ass naked. And stripping to like Axl and Roses, you know what I'm saying? Of course, she would twerk to Nicki Minaj. It's 2022. I'm not Nicki Minaj. Megan Thee Stallion. Of course, she would like have the angle she has now. It's not John Byrne She-Hulk. This is She-Hulk written like in 2022. So yeah, it's not going to be the same as when you were reading as a kid. She's butt ass naked on the cover.
Can I say one thing here, right?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Even though I disagree with that scene in particular, for whatever reason, she was twerking in a fucking pantsuit, bro. She wasn't twerking in the Fantastic Four one piece,
or her black getup.
That would have been. I would have liked the Fantastic Four piece. That would have been fan service. They should have been mad at that.
It's Disney Plus, brother. It's Disney Plus.
I'm gonna say, nah, you ain't getting that, bro.
Listen, this is heel Deon Donovan. Heel Deon Donovan.
Hell yeah, man.
So just to kind of expand on my original question here. This is the reason I asked y'all this question. And I want to be careful with what I'm going to say here, but I also need to voice my own opinion on this because Donovan, and shout out to Black Comic Lords, by the way. Shout out. Herschel. Listen, man, y'all, like that brother is putting his life on the line.
Ooh, man, this dude, look, you know we'd be saying some shit. And I'd be like, yo,
listen, don't put out where he lives. We're not even gonna put out what state he lives in because that brother's putting his life on the line. Right?
Oh my goodness.
But the question I want to ask y'all here, in particular to this culture, which is bullshit. Like the culture war holds as much weight to me as the war on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like. But you might have to edit that out. When we fix this in post.
I
mean, we live. It's out here, man. It's live.
When you fix this in post, you might have to like bleep that out for a second. But like, to me, the only thing that I'm gonna say is that I feel like for us as Black people, is it a mistake for Black people to get caught up in this culture war? As y'all, with y'all as creators and us as fans, I want to get your take on that before moving forward with some of my other thoughts. How do y'all feel about that?
Super dicey. Super dicey. Because logistically speaking, you kind of have to be aware, right? You have to. You kind of have to check off some boxes to have like an appeal. You know what I mean? Like in comics, right? We always talk about, hey, you should have more black characters, comics, superheroes, whatever. To be honest, there's not enough of us to support that in the comic books. It's not enough, and we just don't care as much as the marksmen. You know what I'm saying? They'll get a book, they'll go out, they'll write the petitions. They just care more. For us, it's just like, Like a lot of us just don't care. You know what I'm saying? So number wise, it's hard to just succeed without, I guess, them.
Okay.
In that regard.
All right. So Charles,
yeah,
my bad.
It's dicey. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to cut you off. I mean to cut you off.
Nah, you're good, man. I mean, that's for the most part. That's the thing.
And Charles, I know you about to jump in, but this is all I'm gonna say here, right? This is the only thing that I'm gonna say here, right? Okay, you mentioned some of the marksmen, right? And it's not a secret that if Eric July proved anything over the summer of 2022, he proved that the target demographic and the people who are spending the majority of the money towards this industry right now are the people that feel as though comic books are going in a direction that doesn't include them, that doesn't emphasize the way that they feel currently in the United States in 2022, right?
True.
For us as Black people living in America, is this our fight? Because I feel like it's not. I feel like, and I mean, again, from the creator's perspective, y'all probably have a different take on this, and I respect that. But I think, okay, when you see people complaining that there are Black characters on House of the Dragon, when you see Black people complaining that, oh, well, you know, why did we need Black characters on House of the Dragon? I would prefer to see an all-Black cast of a fantasy show with just us. I feel like that's kind of missing some of the point here, right? I think you got to break it down into context and understand how they fit into the individual story. If you watched Game of Thrones before watching House of the Dragon, House of the Dragon is going to explain to you why those Black characters on this show aren't on Game of Thrones. They're not Black characters. House Valerian isn't in Game of Thrones because obviously, you know, spoiler alert, something is going to happen to where they don't make it 200 years later to the main show that got HBO the critical acclaim that it got. The reason I say I think some of us as Black folks shouldn't get caught up in this culture war is because I think it distracts us. It's another distraction. I think it's another distraction in terms of what's happening in real life. I don't want to get overly political, but that's just my take on that. Go ahead, Charles.
Oh man. Shit, I feel this is a big one.
It's a big one, bro. He put the heel. He put the heel name tonight for a reason.
I've been sitting on the sidelines for 8 weeks, man. I'm not fucking around tonight.
No, man.
Because me and D Smith we've been talking about this.
Go ahead. Y'all cook this shit.
You know, I'll go while Charles thinks.
Yeah.
The way you said it is best. You said it as clean as possible, Uncle Jack. With me, I don't even look at this stuff anymore. I focus on what we got. Why should I focus on what's happening on their side of the fence? They can. All they're doing is crying. All they're doing is crying and complaining and bitching. I don't need to be paying attention to a bunch of crybabies. I'm focused on what we doing on our side of the fence. Screw all that extra stuff. That's how I feel. When I hear that stuff, I just ignore it at this point. I don't take that person seriously because they're not a serious person, and they're not a serious person. They're a crybaby or they're wimp. And the biggest thing of all is they're never going to get exactly in your face and say the things that they want to say unless there's a bunch of them around you. They're never going to get in your face and say what they really want to say online to you, to your exact face. So I don't care. I don't care. I dismiss them and say that's cute. That's cute. And you're not interested in, let's just put it down. Let's put it down to money. You're not interested in my stuff. I'm not interested in yours.
Ooh, man. I mean, the bottom line is, it all comes down to the green, right? Comes down to what do you support? What do you
I don't
buy?
have my wallet with me, but I said me and Charles talked about that. They don't want to spend money on barbecue sauce. I don't want to spend money on mayonnaise. Okay.
Oh shit!
I don't know how you follow that up, Charles. Good luck.
Oh man, nah.
That's why I didn't want to go. That's why I was like, y'all
We're
go.
talking about.
I had to be the closer, but
No, but I want to address. I want
good.
to address
That's
my
good,
original question. I want to
That's
address
good.
my original question.
The culture war.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what Deon said, and then what D Smith was talking about.
I know it's loaded, man. It's
It
loaded.
is loaded.
It's loaded, bro. Pause.
So wait, so do we? Where do we stand, right? I'll say this. I don't think we should, and this sounds so after school special, but I don't think we should spend and do what you can to have to do to survive, obviously. But I don't think there should be a huge push to have a seat at their table.
That's all I needed to hear.
That's what I don't think there should be a huge. You have to do what you have to do to survive, obviously.
Absolutely.
We all work wherever we're all working. The CEO's white, or
Absolutely.
the board is white. You got to do what you have to
Absolutely.
survive. But as you're preparing what you're doing with your passion, I don't think it should be targeted towards a seat at their table.
Absolutely. And Charles, and respectfully, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but I
No,
respect you for saying that because for you and what I know about you, you are somebody who is in some of these circles. You're hearing what's being said.
Yeah.
You're working, and Donovan, respectfully, brother, like
Hey, you know the group. You know the group. We in there.
and Donovan,
We just be observing like, yo, this has nothing to do with comics. What the fuck is this doing in here?
Nothing.
No,
You know the group, bro.
And I mean, we could take it further than that, but we ain't gonna do that right now. We'll save that for some B-roll later on. But I respect what you said there because y'all are in some of these circles. Y'all are in these circles where there's a difference here with this quote unquote culture war and what is actually taking place are two different things here.
I agree.
And the fundamental error that I think Black people in particular are making in terms of where we fit into this whole thing is that we care a little bit too much about things that don't apply to us directly. And heal Uncle Jack.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Fill it. Go ahead, man. Have them rush a barricade. Go ahead, brother. Have them rush a barricade, man. Come on.
The biggest mistake here. Okay, prime example here, right? Let's talk about baseball for a second.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's just talk about baseball, right? Okay.
All right.
I think that Willie Mays is the greatest baseball player to ever live. I think Willie Mays was better than Babe Ruth. He hit less home runs than Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Babe Ruth might have been a pitcher before he became an all-time great home run hitter. But Babe Ruth didn't compete in Major League Baseball in an integrated Major League Baseball, right?
Nope.
No.
But there's still people that are going to argue you down that Babe Ruth was better than Willie Mays. Willie Mays hit 661 home runs and played left field and was an all-time great athlete that just happened to play in the Negro League and in Major League Baseball, right?
True.
However, because I feel that Willie Mays is the greatest baseball player ever, I don't feel like black folks are being slighted when some of these publications cite Babe Ruth as the greatest baseball player ever. I just feel like they have a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
When it comes to this culture war,
I like that.
And the things that people are complaining about, I'm happy. Game of Thrones is in my top 5 all-time greatest TV shows.
Absolutely.
Whether or not they had black folks as central characters in that show, I view that as consequential to the way that they wanted to tell that story.